Hello, welcome, and thanks for listening to Carbon Cli-MATES, an energy podcast dedicated to discussing all things energy, carbon, and sustainability while pointing out what's getting hot, aside from our planet. I'm your host, Enya, and today I'm joined with my carbon climate and co-host, Louise. Yeah. Got you introduced. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Louise.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Of course, this is the first Carbon Climates episode.
It's an honour.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad. Like, yeah, you were definitely the first choice in mind. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
So before we get into today's topic, how's your week been? And how have you carbing? And can you tell us a bit about yourself?
How has my week been? Do we want the truth?
Do you want the podcast answer or the real
Yeah,
answer?
do you want the podcast answer or the real answer?
Yeah.
Living the dream, Enya. Living the sustainability dream.
Of course, of course. Well, that brings us on your job title. Like, what is it?
It is a sustainability engineer.
Wow, very impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Very
Same
impressive.
as you. No.
Okay. And how long have you been in the sector as a sustainability engineer?
Well, 4 years full time, and then I did my placement year in the sector, so we'll count that.
Oh, very good.
Because
That was you did a placement from Coleraine, and it was geography.
yeah,
Wow,
geography.
very good. That's like did you hear about this through like University of Ulster or?
No, so one of the directors of the company, my mum worked with his wife, and it actually was aimed at my brother because he was doing like electrical engineering at the time. So she had said to mum, for him, and then I just asked if they had it because they had whenever I went on to look at the website, they had environmental stuff,
Mhm.
and at the time I was wanting to go down like environmental management route, so I just applied and asked. And then I originally came in to do BRE, but ended up doing
All the simulation
all the
stuff.
simulation stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like wow, that's amazing. Okay, I can imagine if you and your brother competing for the same roles. This is such.
Gladiators.
I feel like they'd make a K drama about that. I would watch it. Like
I would watch it. You've seen what I watch.
That's good. Well, so you're saying at uni you seen yourself in the environmental management sector. See, when you were at secondary school, did you ever see yourself in this sector?
Do you know what? I was actually thinking about this because we used to go on holiday all the time as kids. They always talking like 5 years old. That was the first time I ever seen a wind turbine, and I was fascinated.
Oh wow!
My mum has photos of me and my older brother standing, with the access hatch of a wind turbine, just
Well, smiling.
cheesing. We were both because it was 2001 or something in Northern Ireland. Didn't even know what a wind turbine was. So me and Aidan were probably fascinated by these turbines. I think I from then I did sort of think that's quite interesting. Because I always kind of being interested in like renewables and stuff, but then did geography, went down environmental management route. So yeah, I always kind of did see myself working in like renewables and energy efficiency and stuff from that. But
That's really great to hear. For work experience, did you get work experience at school, like say in sixth form or fifth form?
yeah,
Yeah. Where did you get yours?
I went to primary school.
Of
Or
course.
my primary school, and all the teachers. I couldn't actually remember half the teachers, but they remembered me. I was like, I don't remember you teaching me at all.
That's so sweet. You know where I did my work experience?
Events.
Yeah. And now look at us now.
Wow.
Wow.
Really helped.
And like that's the thing. I feel like at secondary school, I don't know if you find it. I feel like teachers they put on a lot of pressure on you to maybe say, oh, you have to go do a degree at at a particular uni, and you have to look at these jobs, like push you towards certain jobs,
Yeah.
which were like maybe science, medical, law based, but they didn't even like, put a thought up to like the likes of film,
Yeah.
or
even like apprenticeships or anything like that. It's very much just go to uni.
and because now I'm like I've come to the realization, and it's simply because I think it's more well known now. But there was the option for us to maybe do a part-time degree and then also have a job when we were like 19, 20.
Yeah.
So rather than doing the full like 3 or 4 years uni, which, fair enough, it is a uni, like it's an experience in itself. We could have like, from 19 got experience and like also like be getting a degree. So earning and learning. I like that. But like, that definitely wasn't publicized. Like,
But I think that's only really good if you know exactly what you want to do.
yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Like,
That's
like if you were like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, if I went into geography, like if I knew, at 19, 18, 19, you probably would have made a different choice. Like if you knew point blank, this is what I want to do. Because you see a lot of, even in our company, like a lot of younger people coming in, like school leavers, because this is what they want to do.
That's like, it's just like, God, I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah, knowing you really made the right decision.
Yeah, knowing what direction your life is going.
I stood alone.
Well, thanks for that, Louise. Now, so we're going to move on to today's topic. Before we do, however, I've got one question for you.
Hit me.
What did the pirate find most important about the insulation?
I don't know.
The R value. For those of you who don't know what an R value is, that will be explained.
It's a nice segue.
That'd be a cool segue. R value. So today's topic is actually focusing on EPCs, but this episode's title being EPCs, Energy Performance is a Cert. Okay, that was the first thing I came up with when think like it was maybe this time last year, shooting titles back at you. I was like, energy performance is a cert. I'm like, This is it. Okay, enough fun. Okay. So myself and Louise are sustainability engineers, and we mainly deal with issuing EPCs to clients for the final constructions of their buildings. EPC stands for Energy Performance Certificate, for those of you who don't know. I feel like most people know.
Yeah.
However, I always want to explain, because even my friend, he was buying a house, I think a couple months ago. And I looked up his EPC, to show. I was like, oh, what's your EPC? And he was such like, oh, what's this? This is mine. So I'm like, oh, flip. Maybe some people don't know that this is out there. So EPC stands for Energy Performance Certificate. It's a calculation which rates your building from A to G and gives a representation of how energy efficient it actually is. Even though the Energy Performance Certificate is only a couple of pages, there's a lot that goes into the calculation itself. Me and Louise are both energy assessors, both LCEAs, whoop, whoop, which stands for, I'm just I'm just explaining all the abbreviations.
Yeah.
If you ever get into the energy sector, you'll realize there are a lot of abbreviations.
Some may say too many.
But LCEA stands for Low Carbon Energy Assessor. So for this, that means we look at the area of the building, the type of construction it's made up of. When we talk about constructions, we're talking about what materials make up the wall, how much insulation goes into it, how permeable the building is. When we talk about permeability in terms of building, we talk about the amount of the airflow through it, like the infiltration. We also look at the heating, ventilation, and hot water type of the building, and also what the lights are. These are all put into a software calculator, and this calculator spits out a carbon amount, which is then rated on an alphanumeric scale, from A to G.
Keep it simple, Anya.
Yeah, okay, I won't be trying that again, okay? So, why is this important? Because all the buildings require a valid EPC in order to be sold or rented out. So, Louise, in your opinion, how valuable do you think people actually look at the EPCs? How important are they to the function of the building?
I guess it's just theoretical.
Theoretical, okay.
It's not really a good. It's not really a good, indication of how energy efficient the building is, I think.
That's
honestly.
This is the inside scoop coming from directly from the energy.
Directly, straight from the source. Because if you think about things like, you can maybe not pass your building regulations, but still get an EPC today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's like, yeah.
Would you be in the agreement that maybe an EPC reform is needed? Like, different layout of the structures, like investigation into what is actually important?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think it is good because it's comparing your building to other buildings. It's it's like, well, not like for like, but it's as like for like as it can be.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know.
Very, very interesting. Well, you also do operational energy reports, which are reports that are required for an energy accreditation, like BRE for the building. An operation, they pretty much give the real life operation of the building, so what it's actually producing in terms of electricity, fuel, what's being used, flow rates, etc. I always do lists, so and I'm trying to stop it.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's like a natural vocal
exactly.
Thing. Yeah. She does it in real life as well. Apparently this thing like swimming. Can you test this one?
Well, so also, like, do you also perform operational reports or put together operational reports for clients as well? And when you started doing that, did you see a clear difference between the likes of what's spit out in an EPC and then what actually is going on in the operational report?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not all the time. One is, the operational energy is better than the EPC, but there is always a difference. Of course, there's always a difference because it's actually taking into consideration how a person is supposedly actually, operating within the building and living within the building.
Yeah.
Like if you think about an EPC doesn't really take into consideration your equipment gains.
Yeah.
Plug-in nodes, where they're massive in every building, and operational energy does think about that sort of stuff. So
that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So yeah, that's great. And often, well, at the minute when we're dealing with different projects, we often get a contract document that states a specific EPC might be required for the building, and this is purely a marketing technique. So people can advertise, yep, my building gets an A or a B or, very snazzy. But yeah, like has it been annoying seeing that? And then maybe like you're on the project and it's always like, oh no, we want to go like a route that maybe isn't going to achieve that EPC or...
Oh yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. Especially with the change in building regs.
Oh yeah, change in building regs.
Maybe something that it's like something that allowed you to get a certain rating once is not going to let you get it now. Vice versa.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is annoying in though? I think with the EPC stuff. Off topic. Completely unlike me. Do you know whenever you look at houses and you look at and he's a domestic assessor. Yeah. You look at domestic EPCs. Well, she's not just domestic. Do you know, well, obviously older houses haven't. Are you going to talk about this? Shall I just stop?
What is it? I think might bring it up in a later section. No, but keep on going because this is good.
I was locked in because it annoys me every time I say it.
Okay. Okay. Well, we talked previously about the training we've done, how we're both LCEAs. However, I myself, I've only been an LCEA in the past year, whereas we've been doing EPCs for the past, I'd say 5-6 years. How old are we? In your opinion, what sort of training pathway did you prefer, or do you think would be valuable to future energy assessors? Do you mean do you think a more hands-on approach to the job,
Oh yeah, learning on the job, yeah.
Learning on the job.
Yeah. I always think it's like learning to drive, going to university and stuff. You're not learning, you're learning the basics, you're learning how things work, and you're getting a baseline knowledge of something. but you don't actually learn to do something until you're doing it every day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, you go into uni and learning, like, the theory behind things. Of course, that's always beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, unless you're actually sitting down and putting that into practice, I don't think that information is retained, or it's, you know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think what is it? No, I've forgotten more than I've learned.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
But yeah, well, look, what particular guides do you find are helpful in your job?
Guides?
Guides, like, you know, the way we would use CIBSE Guides, or what one do
Yeah.
you use the most?
I use Guide A.
Guide
a lot.
A, wow.
Don't ask me what that is. Guide A, the TM59 for overheating,
Yes,
and occasionally TM54 for operational energy.
right, yes.
Yeah.
Team 59, I was going to do a separate episode in itself, so
Yes.
I'll be back for that.
Stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned to come later.
Spoiler. It's hot.
Okay, well that's great. I was trying to think what my favorite guide is. I use like, as you mentioned, I'm a domestic energy assessor, or like domestic on construction, whatever the abbreviation. Again, another abbreviation.
We
Okay.
should do a listener game.
Yeah. So this abbreviation.
Every time there's abbreviation, it's like, get a point.
I think I do like SAP manual because it's so bulky, and it's about, I think, no, I don't want to say 600 pages, but it's 200 pages, between 200 and 600. You know,
It's a good document.
range.
Tell us in the comments.
What's your favorite building regulations guide?
If you had one to read for the rest of your life, what would BMI?
Well, as previously mentioned, for energy assessors, like us as energy assessors, we not only issue EPCs, but also building regulations calculations. These calculations are often associated with the energy and can be spit out from the same software that we simulate EPCs from. So this is often the thing that clients maybe don't get, that Part F or a Part L building regulation building simulation regulation document is going to be different from an EPC. Like, they're like, oh, it's, even though it's the same model, same software, it's two different things. It's being measured against two different baselines, two different methodologies. Yeah, your face there just doesn't set methodologies. Look,
It's the national calculation method.
So, summary, we submit an EPC and we often submit like a BRE or SAP calculation with it. So, which is the Part L bit. What would be your favourite between the two? Doing an EPC or doing a BRE or a SAP?
Probably the Part L vehicle, because it, like I said earlier, you can pass your EPC but not pass your building regs. There's more challenge in the building regs
you
than
like
the
a
EPC.
challenge.
I like a
And
challenge.
you like a challenge, okay. Yeah, like, that's interesting. Oh, and also you find, like, with an EPC, EPC, with an EPC, because when we submit it, we lodged it, we get QA'd, and you often find that, like, I'm always really strict with what I can, like, put in, or I always feel like, oh no, I have to put in this default value or this value. Whereas a Bruegel, I feel like you can, like, I'm going to see what it's like with these types of lights, or this type of heating. Like, the world's your oyster.
The world's your oyster.
But yeah. Okay. Well, now we're going to come into a section that I think this might be the section you were talking about earlier, about Northern Ireland EPC and domestic regulations. So, since 2012, Northern Ireland has operated under the same energy assessment methodology, which is equivalent to an English building regulations from 2009 for Part L.
Which is ridiculous.
What is it?
Which is ridiculous.
Yes. So I've prepared a wee short table which kind of, like, it talks about all the changes that happened. And just a summary, pretty much when building regulations were changing in England, Wales and Scotland, they were staying the same for Northern Ireland. I'm going to give you the dates onto which they changed, and I want you to guess what the coinciding event was that maybe stopped the change.
Oh, okay.
So, 2009,
Okay.
England got the 2009 software for domestic energy assessment. Northern Ireland got the 2009 software for domestic energy assessment. So 2009, we're both feeling fine. Okay.
2009, it's fine.
2012, okay. England updated to SAP 2012 software. Okay. England, Wales and Scotland, I believe, sorry. Northern Ireland was told to stay on the SAP 2009 software. Okay. Why? I actually couldn't find a coinciding event with that, so we'll skip that. 2016.
Beautiful year.
So, the software is still SAP 2012. However, updates have been provided to the building regulations. Northern Ireland is still on SAP 2009. Can you guess what the coinciding event was in 2016 that maybe stopped it from being updated in Northern Ireland?
In 2016, was it we didn't have a government?
Well, that is part of it. But in 2016, Brexit was announced.
Brexit, I was going between the two because they were both around the same time.
Yeah. So Brexit wasn't announced, and then I think it was maybe a couple months after that, our elections happened, and then we didn't have a government. So yeah, that was great.
And we still do.
Yeah, we had for a bit, and then they left.
Yeah. They said this was nice, but
they're like, I'm away. Okay.
I'm enjoying my holiday.
Okay. 2020 is when the next update came. So England was still under the SAP 2012 software for domestic energy assessments. However, SAP 10 software was introduced, which is a snazzy new software that took into account updated fuel, like carbon ratings for fuels. Okay. Can you guess what software Northern Ireland was told to stay under?
2009.
As you said earlier, there was no government in Northern Ireland.
Still.
Yeah.
There's a theme here.
There's a theme. Okay, guess what's going to happen next. 2021.
Oh.
Technical booklet F1 Part L 2021 announced its set an implementation date for like an implementation date was set. So all new domestic energy assessments after a certain date in 2021 or 2022 were told to move to the SAP 10 software, okay? Even though the regulations were changed in Northern Ireland, what software did we have to stay under?
2009.
2009. Okay, can you guess the coinciding event about why that had to happen?
We still didn't have a government?
Well, and actually COVID as well.
Oh, okay.
And Brexit. All of them came together.
Yeah.
And I would just also like to stress the previous
not a political
it's not a political podcast. These are purely my opinion. But we do have a unique geopolitical setting, and it does severely impact the updates that received onto local building regulations. But yeah, so that's just my research, what I found.
2009. 2009.
Yeah. 2000. It pretty much it has up what is it? What it means that even the software stays the same, the outputs are stayed the same, and we still just have to pass the BER and they're just saying, oh yeah, as long as that shows a 20% reduction,
15.
So you have to say, oh yeah, look, I highlight in this, shows a 20% reduction. So the software could output a calculation that says pass, but you could fail.
15%.
15% for non-domestics are 25% for flats reduction, and then 40% for houses. But yeah, so it's just it's way confusing. Whereas I know the non-domestic software, the one we use, it flagged up right away. If you even though the BER was lower than the TER, if it didn't get more than 15% reduction, flagged up as a fail.
That's only recently though, because whenever the regs were first announced, you have to just do it manually.
It's upset. It'll make it easy for us
Don't.
in the building sector. Okay, well, that's great. Thank you for playing that sector. I'm now going to move on to another. I mentioned the title of this, Energy Performance is a Cert. I think I'll call this Always Be Certain. Cert.
Always be certain.
Certain.
Always be certain.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions, and I want your best guess. Okay. So, we talked about how we perform Part L calculations, building regulations calculations on particular non-domestic softwares. How many non-domestic softwares do you think are out there? So we non-domestic, like different brands.
Right.
Close. Do you have the answer?
Yeah.
18. I will publish a link to a list of those softwares, but yeah, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot more than 3. There's only 3 that I know of.
But yeah. So in 2020, the Energy Assessment Guidance for London came out, and it showed that a certain carbon factor for a certain fuel had decreased over time, making it really like a lot better, a lot healthier.
I feel like I'm doing my Part L exam again.
But can you tell me that fuel?
It decreased.
It decreased.
Hasn't it got better?
It got better, yeah.
Electric?
Yes, exactly. So over the period, the monitoring period from 2010 to 2020 or 18, whenever it came out, they found that electricity had just dropped in the amount of carbon it was producing per kilowatt hour. And this is because of all the renewable elements that are connected into the grid, making electricity a cleaner fuel. So yeah, that was grand. So I've asked the question about non-domestic software. So as I explained, SAP 10, the new SAP 10 methodology, softwares have come out for that. Can you guess how many domestic bodies cover that software?
I'm going to just say 3 again.
Close. 4.
I meant non-domestic. I meant domestic the first time.
Yeah. I'll re-edit that, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to move on to a section now. It's called What's Your Energy Performance? So, this is a section where I just want to highlight how it is possible to find out what your EPC rating is and what your energy performance is. If you go to the gov.uk website and go find an energy certificate, look up your postcode, find your address, and boom, there's your EPC rating. And you can show it off to your friends. Like, compete.
Compare notes.
But yeah, I'm currently renting at the minute, so my energy performance, I'm not going to have too much to do. But I think I'm sitting on a E or D. Like, it's pretty, it's not what I'd like it to be. But, did you look up yours at all?
I still live with my mum and dad. Because
like, it's, in this economic crisis, of course you do.
Of course I do. I get my dinner made for me. I get my washing.
Can I go?
Yeah. We just better. We can move in. We don't actually have an EPC.
And you know why that is?
Because it was pre-2001.
Exactly. So yeah, EPCs, they became a legal requirement, I think, for UK in 2005. I think even later for Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
There's only a document, I think 2014, that comes out being like, if you buy or sell property, you need to have an EPC.
I think my dad bought the house in 2001. I did actually look it up, but we don't have one.
And here, if you're staying there, you don't need one.
You don't need one.
You don't need one. So, yeah, be very interesting to, I come around, I do.
What's this following?
But I would also like to point out, so I'm an on-construction domestic energy assessor, and this is the thing. There are many different types of energy assessors. There is, pretty much on-construction domestic energy assessor, and then domestic energy assessor. So domestic energy assessors, they can assess the building if it's been, if it's an existing. So they are qualified to assume, lots of defaults. Whereas on construction, the contractor tells me what to do.
Yeah.
It's like, this is how we built the building. I'm like, brilliant. You've got all your certificates there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
Whereas non-domestic, that's not the case. You can be qualified as a non-domestic and do existing and new build as well. Like, okay, well, Louise, you've been great to have on. Thank you very much for coming on. Do you have any advice for future prospective energy assessors looking to get into the sector?
I suppose it's kind of a niche sector to get into.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the placement students and stuff they get in, they typically come from energy degrees.
Yeah.
Which, they might not push this end of work.
Yeah.
So it's probably hard for if I didn't do my placement here, I wouldn't have known that this was even a thing.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, just get out there. Put in your CV. I think a lot of people, a lot of companies are like to have young, my main advice to graduates is to not be afraid to say you don't understand things. I go on about this all the time. It annoys me. You don't learn if you don't know.
Don't learn if you don't know.
So you have to say you don't know what you're doing to be able to learn.
I am 6 years in this sector. I still don't know
Oh,
what I'm doing. We're just living on a prayer.
We're just 27 and 20. I'm not 27, I'm 26. 26 and a 28-year-old teenagers.
Teenagers. But no, okay, that's good. Well, yours is actually quite insightful and it's quite encouraging to people. Mine was always be certain when issuing certs. Yeah, nice way to round it off.
Nice way to round it off.
I want to clarify that as well. When you get into the sector, you're an EPC. Every EPC you lodge up into the system, it gets QA'd or it can get queried by an external body. So you have to prepare evidence. So yeah, that's why I feel like mine's more an inside one. People on the inside.
Yeah. You've seen Andrew whenever you upload your EPC and it comes up down the bottom. If you are unhappy with your EPC, please contact your name and address.
I know why.
What if you're happy about it?
Yeah, what about if you're happy?
What if you wanted to say, job well done,
Here, I seen that EPC you did, you just lodged.
Yeah.
Really loved it.
Good job.
Your system efficiency,
Wow. How did you do that?
How did you do that? Can you show me?
Can you show me?
This is the I feel like
this is the delirium.
Yeah. Chatting edge.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is all I have for you, Louise. So again, thanks for coming on, and you've been really interesting to talk to, and you'll most certainly be back. Yeah,
can't wait to come back.
But yeah, thanks for listening to Carbon Cli-MATES. If you follow us on Instagram at carbon_Cli-MATES, you can keep up to date with all our latest episode and any news or information and posts we might share. Okay, but thanks for listening. Bye.